Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Today is Friday, July 19th, 2024. Quite late on Friday, but Friday nonetheless. I hope you're having a great day or have had a great day at this point. More than likely it'll be Saturday by the time you watch this, so I hope you are having a great day as well. We're going to get right into it, and I'm not going to tarry long if I can help it. One more cut, and let's see what we got today. Whoa, justice. I love to start with justice. What's that trying to slip out? These three little piggies have been coming out a lot lately. This Three of Pentacles, man. Maybe some justice for whatever it is that's been happening under these archways, these secret hallways and such, secret meetings, is being justified. Four of Cups. Whatever it is, first of all, I'm gonna like justice in the middle, please. Thank you. Because that is certainly the star of the show so far. We want all things to be back into balance and order, corrections made to injustices, things being made fair where they weren't before, all of that. Now let's see what else we got going on here. So we got the Four of Cups. I feel like somebody's being left out of something, or has been left out of something that they would prefer to be included in. Because these are three people discussing some type of plans or actions, intentions, making some type of, having a review of something, some documents, or it could even be being briefed or enlightened about something. When I mean by briefed, like I just got the sense of like somebody is being, it's like this guy appears like catching them up to speed on something or giving them some type of instructions or something like that. I don't know what I'm sensing with that. But then we got the Four of Cups, which is somebody feeling like they're missing out on something. And in this case, maybe they are. It may be whatever this connection is that's going on without him, more or less. Then we got the, you know what, I want these over here, I think. Because that seems to be a more probable order of things. That there is a meeting of the minds for some objective, but someone, and the difference between, so the Four of Cups is always him looking at the Three of Cups, right? Which is that celebratory card, the three ladies toasting, whatever. So it's somebody, the Three of Pentacles is something that is happening or has happened, but somehow the person is yearning, perhaps actually thirsty for the Three of Cups. So maybe idolizing a time when this corroboration was fun, you know, when they were having a good time, or when it was at least highly beneficial with the Three of Pentacles. It had some value to him. And the reason for the, what's a good word, like somebody romanticizing it. Yeah, the romanticism, I guess, at the Three of Cups over this Ace of Cups that's being offered. Somebody's own intuition and pure, maybe pure love, unconditional love, yada, 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 more self-love in this case than anything, is because that doesn't prove to have the most immediate value as what he may have had evidence for. But what it's given is that, like I said, it's romanticizing it with the cups from what it actually was, which seems to be just a business arrangement. So maybe that was someone's pitfall, is that they did romanticize a professional or creative connection for something more than it was, or they were enchanted to believe that it was deeper than it was. And now as they sit on the outside looking in, perhaps, or it's been disconnected or dismantled altogether, it's not somebody really considering, because in order for you to give up, you know, to kind of thumb your nose at the Ace of Cups, you've got to be thinking that what you had was better. So it's like somebody thinking that is, I don't know, it's giving foolish FOMO here to me. Because the Three of Pentacles is always kind of like a shady energy to me. Like, is it collusion? Is it corruption? Is it collaboration? Is it co-creation? What is it? What are you guys talking about in these dark corridors here? What's so secretive? What's so mysterious that it kind of has to be done undercover? I did say brief too. And here's the Chariot card. Oh, hold on. The Chariot card. Oh, and the Ten of Pentacles with the Fool. Hold up now. Because that just had some energy on it when I said, what did I say? What was the word? That it triggered something. I don't even remember, but what it was given is undercover, I think is what I said, undercover. Yeah, so this could be some type of like sting operation, or it could be that hold on. Whatever it is, somebody's in the Ten of Wands now. And it seems like, although it's the end of a cycle, it's like their back is a bit up against the wall, especially if this Chariot is representative of law enforcement or something of that nature stepping in, where that means that somebody didn't just have the choice to surrender, they were forced to, which is what forged an ending here, but a very burdensome one with the Ten of Wands. And then Justice smack here in the middle. Here's this good old King of Cups today with the Fool. And the high priestess. Oh man. Yeah, this is something. So it could, okay, I'm seeing something. So it could be, as I said, like somebody that romanticized their camaraderie, but when things got sticky, like say now law enforcement and the justice system is hot on the trail. This man is out on a limb by himself here with the Four of Cups, and even heavier burden here at the 10, which to me is saying that, like I was saying before, it's either like maybe the partners that somebody was in collusion with have turned on them, and like, look how they're there's some type of exchange of information happening here at the Three of Pentacles, where he's like examining some documents, could be some paperwork, some evidence that these people are presenting, these two people in the Three of Pentacles. Or it could be, I'm even sensing like some draft of a deal that's been forged to leave someone out, you know, to ultimately turn on an accomplice as like the odd man out. And he might even be, you know, sitting on ice somewhere, whether it be actually you know, captivated somewhere, or just kind of like in limbo, considering what is unfolding, you know, not really being able to do much. But like I said, it's somebody that's still having some type of false hope or belief that whomever they were connected with is actually loyal to their cause, like not going to dime them out or not going to give any more information than what is necessary. And it doesn't seem like that's how it's fitting to play out. It seems like two people are, I said undercover, so it could be that they may have been like agents or moles whole time, or it just could be that maybe an agent was undercover and infiltrated this connection close enough, or penetrated it enough to ultimately kind of like persuade, maybe even persuade is a nice word, it might be a bit of a muscle to get certain members or certain participants to testify, or to just turn over some incriminating evidence. And the Fool card into the King of Cups with the High Priestess. Hold on, let me think about this. Because this is the second time with the Fool. All of these energies, as a matter of fact. The Fool, the King of Cups, and the High Priestess. But we got this new beginning. Oh, and I see the Strength under here. I see the word piercing out at me. And that's about will and confidence, courage. So this could be the result of someone feeling pretty, maybe foolishly confident that they appear to be innocent, because that's what I've been getting from the King of Cups lately, or that they have a strong case, maybe, you know, a strong defense, perhaps even. Get out of here. But what I've been getting with the King of Cups lately, pulling on that Scorpio energy of, you know, usually they can be pretty mysterious, let's say. But what I've been getting from it in the last couple of messages is this projection of innocence. You know, like I'm harmless, I'm non-threatening, I'm loving, I'm kind, you know, all the things that you would ultimately assumed to be safe and secure, but it's kind of like transferring into the word innocence for me. So in this context, it could be someone that, feels awfully confident that they will either be able to prove their innocence, or that there's not enough evidence to reveal, their secrets, or reveal their guilt in this case. And or they still have that confidence, as I said, in their accomplices to protect them, or at least not to throw them under the bus. The Strength card, though, is a big question mark, because I don't know. It's about, sometimes the Strength can be about exhibiting power, and I like to say like primal and spiritual balance productively. And sometimes the Strength can mean that it's something that is required, that's something that may need to be called into a situation, or for a particular energy to sustain themselves, or to overcome a certain challenge, and I rarely read it like that, but particularly because it's being covered up, the most of it, it's more the pronunciation of the word than it is the image for me at this time, which could for sure go either way, but in the context of what I'm speaking, it's either on account of somebody, again, feeling like they have a strong case, or they're going to need to have a strong back by way of this Ten of Wands for what they're about to incur, whether it is on account of what's been investigated and proven, what's been testified or secured secretly, and ultimately what's going to be brought into question with the Justice card, like that something must already be in progress at this point. And it's like somebody may be going into the situation a bit, for some reason with this Fool card and the King of Cups, is given a bit arrogant, yeah, like almost like they're untouchable with the High Priestess. They're, they're sacred, they're set aside, like, they're covered. They feel like they have more power in their corner by way of protection, defense, or, maybe even just luck, hell, than what they might. And I'll say might because I don't know. Let's see what we got here. I don't know, but the indication here with the Ten of Wands is not ideal. It's not ideal. Somebody's burdened and a bit bound, maybe already detained in some way, shape, or form, certainly impaired from moving forward quickly and with all liberties intact. There's a great deal of resistance here. So why is that if somebody's case is so strong? Or maybe that was the energy that one approached it with and, has since had a rude awakening, or will, whichever way it works, I don't know. But let's see. That Three of Pentacles is what it is in comparison to the Three of Cups, as I was saying, because I feel like this person has no idea either who they were actually surrounded with and the limited loyalty that they exhibit, or they have no idea how corrupted this whole operation may have been at the core level. Maybe, that it was kind of like a setup from the jump is what I'm feeling. Like he was always going to kind of be the fall guy or the scapegoat. It may have been by happenstance that they end up being kind of like pulled into actually being witnesses or informants or something like that. But what it gives me with these two energies is that it really wasn't like they were, it wasn't really twisting their arm to do so. Like I said, the loyalty was limited, not unconditional as the Ace of Cups that they rejected would be. There, as long as it was good for me or good for us, good for my agenda, meaning this Three of Cups energy or the Three of Pentacles energy, then it was good overall. But the moment that it stopped being good is when it was vulnerable to betrayal, or sabotage. Like anybody could get it, for real. Maybe not even just this person or this energy, but whomever seemed to be the perfect scapegoat or fall guy would be it if it suits the progression forward in some way, shape, or form, or at least evade someone from being railroaded or incriminated. See how that came out like that? Wouldn't be surprised if it should be reversed. The Knight of Cups and a struggle. And the Seven of Wands, protection. Yeah, because this is like, yeah. This is giving weak defense. So it gives way to what I said, where someone at one point in time felt pretty confident and secure that they were straight. They either had a good lawyer, a good alibi, their crew was ironclad, the case was weak, whatever they felt was working in their favor. With the Knight of Cups being in the struggle, it's given that somebody's not really as inept in finessing a situation in their favor as they either once have been or as they usually are, because they're finding themselves having to defend themselves here with the Seven of Wands. Damn, somebody might not even have proper legal representation. I've said this before, like they may have a public defender, which can definitely chip away at your confidence, or there's some discrepancy in their defense. Not the defense is, their attorney is corrupted. I hope not. I felt that in my energy. But whatever it is that they thought they had locked down and secured, they're fighting for their lives with the Seven of Wands. Wishing with that Knight in the struggle that they had taken the offer from the Divine probably long time ago, or definitely well before all of this commenced, to kind of get out of their control. That's what somebody may be reflecting on, where they kind of went wrong. That's why they're sitting there in the Four of Cups with their arms folded. Yeah, but even still, it's like, no matter what, the Divine is still offering that cup, but their arms are folded still, as I said, idolizing, romanticizing the past, still not seeing it for what it's worth. Probably still fixated on what they may have done wrong with this Knight of Cups, like how they missed a step to finesse the situation more in their favor. when it probably was hopeless from the jump. And now here is the Eight of Wands, which is now an advanced attack or an accelerated motion. And when I'm saying motion, I'm looking at the Justice card, like something has been advanced in a case that maybe a motion has been made to accelerate the trial as is, or that's the thing, like somebody's been used to causing delays. That's why the Knight of Cups was twisted up. You know, they've been used to somehow being able to finesse something from progressing forward and covering their ass, you know, or protecting their best interests. That's what it is with the Seven of Wands. But for whatever reason, that's where the confidence has come from, because somebody thought they could just run it back and do it again. Whatever it is that they do to delay a case, delay a ruling, delay a settlement, delay a verdict, hell, delay the trial altogether, whatever it is, or to even like obstruct the investigation itself. That's the shocker, is that somebody has even been able to tamper with the investigation by way of certain special access and resources. But they don't have that anymore. So where they were able to put pauses and delays, it's like they no longer have that influence, and now things are moving on as they should naturally. And on top of that, all the other dominoes are kind of falling as well, where, you know, there is evidence, you know, substantial evidence. There are witnesses or testimony, people that are willing to testify. There is maybe an official or an officer of the court that is perhaps upright this time around, that can't be corrupted, that actually is standing by their oath for due justice, you know, or due process or whatever. And their charms, their typical charms and manipulations and enchantments don't really have the same influence and power, because this is now more or less being accelerated from a spiritual perspective. First and foremost is this justice, but of course materializing in the in the physical, in the 3D. So maybe that's how someone's been able to manipulate both aspects in some way, shape, or form. And hence me saying the charm and enchantment, they don't even have it to do that either. That explains the arrogance and overconfidence, because they thought they had all their grounds covered. But this time, everything, it's like things are being accelerated in such a way that even if he were to try to work one angle, it's already moving forward in a way that he may or may not have even seen coming, because he didn't have that level of insight and access that he typically does. So it was maybe the investigation had already, even down to the friends or whomever is behind the scenes, you know, or the undercovers or whatever that's behind the scenes, giving up all the tape. You know, it could even be maybe if it's not a part of the operation, it just could be like the undercover investigation of it all, like them sitting somewhere in a dark van or in, you know, in some area, listening in the conversation, surveilling, you know, all types, you know, like The Wire type stuff, but of course a bit more advanced now than then, right? Again, advancement. Somebody wasn't anticipating that they wouldn't be able to get the drop on whatever was coming before it could progress, let alone to be able to stop it, block it, or finesse it, pay it off, you know, spell it off, whatever it is they usually do, is coming, and it's coming with a vengeance. And it's coming from multiple angles, because it's saying that somebody's having to defend themselves, like in their immediate surroundings. But the Eight of Wands is something coming that you don't even really see coming. You just feel it when it gets there. So they could even be surprised by the, ooh, wow. They could even be surprised by the amount of evidence against them, or the solidity, is that a word? The solidness, the solidity, I don't know, let's make it a word today, of the case. Look, they thought they was getting away with something. Wrong. Here's the delusion here. Here is the delusion. Or they thought that they were getting away with leaving some type of illusions in their wake. You know, like I said, like disrupting the investigation, making it hard to build a case, making it hard to really get a lead on what is being, what's in question, you know, whatever that is. Either way, to think they were leaving it behind, to think that they were, you know, creating it, whatever the case may be. The Seven of Swords is somebody that is on the path to being caught up for their actions. Like they thought that they had scrubbed the crime scene well, like maybe not an actual crime scene, but maybe scrubbed their prints, their connection to any incriminating acts or inferences. They thought they had scrubbed it well, but lo and behold, he always leaves two swords behind, two tracks, something traceable. Could be communication, could be messages. Again, it could be two people that he thought he could trust that are just singing like canaries. Like whatever it is, somebody wasn't as cunning as they gave themselves credit for. Yeah, Page of Cups, they were misguided. Where they thought they were projecting an illusion, they're realizing that no, you're confused, or you just are, like just misinformed. But it feels like confusion and delusion with the Page of Cups, because there's a fish in that cup. So somebody drinking their own Kool-Aid, not realizing that they're actually drinking their own poison. There could have been some way in which somebody kind of helped the investigation along when they thought that they were averting it or harming it even. Thought that maybe they were destroying it. But all the while they were actually building more, they were kind of building their own case against themselves, is what I'm sensing. That's kind of nutty. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, and then the Eight of Wands comes back out again. Man, what the heck? And another page. Now this feels like Well, it could be an attack on somebody's finances, but it's an attack on somebody's vitality when they're already at their most vulnerable, whether they realize it or not. So it could literally be somebody waking up one day thinking that everything is as it always is, and they go to check their account and there's either nothing in it or their funds are frozen. That's the type of energy I'm getting here, like a rapid attack, a rapid seizure of sorts that happens in such a way that, you know, because they may not have even planned for that. They probably thought, well, best case scenario, I'll get indicted or I'll get subpoenaed or whatever they think the process is going to be, and they'll be able to deal with it as they typically do. But this is the shock and the like the surprise, because where they thought that even if they did kind of get their foot caught up a bit, that they could fix it on the back end, it's like things have been so advanced at this point that the authorities don't even need, they have all the evidence that they need to actually seize assets. That's probably something that's never really happened before. This is new for them. So they know it's serious, they know it's real. Here's the upheaval here, because it's something that has never occurred that way. They've always been able to talk their way out or work their way out of whatever jam they're in. But you know, like once they start seizing, once the government in any capacity starts dipping into your finances, it's because they at least believe that they have just cause to do so. So you know you up for an uphill battle to prove otherwise. You know, so what's this? Yeah, Ace of Pentacles. Took a big seizure, took a great deal, and this is what is left. Barely a penny to somebody's name. Maybe an account somewhere that wasn't on the radar if somebody's lucky, you know, with a couple dollars in it. But ultimately, anything attached to this person, they could have woken up one morning and have gone from the Ace of Pentacles, unlimited resources, unlimited wealth and abundance, to the Page. Pentacles can also be energy and time. So that speaks to the acceleration again, where somebody may have thought they had unlimited time and resources to doctor things up, and now it's like it's accelerated out of their control. This is them vulnerable to the process, not being in control of it, not having influence or dominance, even access. At this rate, somebody couldn't even really pay their way out of a jam down to the Page of Pentacles. If they wanted to, if they had the liberty, and they do, but if they had the liberty to, they don't even have it. Corruption ain't cheap. Yeah, here's the Nine of Pentacles. Single, self-sufficient lady. This could be the partners. This could be the partners. What's on the bottom? He mad. Because this could be the partners, and this could be a feminine and a masculine, or two feminines. Hell, it could be two masculines too. Like, it's kind of ambiguous in this Three of Pentacles. part of me, I often see the Six of Wands as a male, as a feminine energy from my perspective, but by definition, it actually is a masculine energy. And the Nine of Pentacles, to me, it's a feminine energy as well. That even more certainly than the Six of Wands. But whatever the case may be, these could be the partners that ultimately have kind of bought their way by way of, the investment of information and intel out of this jam. And here he is left to fend for himself with all the aggression and rage and vengeance for what he thought he had, in his corner, which was loyalty. But I feel like this is more than mental. This is like somebody's mental state, because really they don't have the energy to forge an attack. And also, if they really are, first of all, they may not even be literally free to forge an attack. And they also may have all eyes on them, so that they would have to be careful about their actions. They couldn't really act on the impulse that or maybe they will, I don't know. Maybe they will, because this is the action. But I feel like with the sword energy, it's more what someone would want to do, given the first chance to do so, where they're not under scrutiny, surveillance, investigation. They would find some way to retaliate, because it's that grave of a betrayal here that incites them to want to do so. But I don't know if they're going to have that luxury. Or I don't know if they have it right now. I'll say that. Oh. No, somebody is bound. Like, bound and burdened. And they have nobody to blame but themselves, really, even though they would want, they feel some entitlement to vengeance with that Knight of Wands, Knight of Swords. It's like somebody signed up for this. They just signed up for it under the pretenses of protection and clauses and terms that were ultimately false. Or there were hidden terms and clauses that they personally weren't aware of. Like the undercurrent of the undercover disloyalty that may have been unspoken, like, yeah, you get caught, is every man for himself. Or if they crack down on you, they run down on you, we gonna do and say whatever needs to be done and said to make sure that we straight. It's like somebody, I don't know, like they seem astounded by the outcome in this regard, like as if they were under some other assumption of this contract here in the devil energy being something somehow upright and fair and honorable and trustworthy. Like somehow they thought, even though it had all the inner workings of something diabolical, maybe even the like, it's amazing to me anyway that thieves and predators and violators would ever be shocked when they've been sabotaged or betrayed, because it's like, well, you went in under a certain pretense with a certain agenda. you have to have a certain character to carry out those terms. Why would you think that there would be an exception beyond that, especially if anyone in particular is at risk or in threat of losing their freedom, or losing their assets, or whatever the threat has been, or whatever the persuasion was to get someone to flip. Yeah, damn. Oh, maybe, yeah, because they thought this was a family organization. Remember, I said romanticizing this whole experience. They had some type of illusion that, yeah, we might be doing some nefarious things, but when it comes down to it, like, we all in this together, CMB, we all we got type of energy. But we all know what happened to G Money and Nino Brown in the end, Is every man for himself when it comes down to it, and there really is no lasting honor among thieves. It may be temporary, conditional, but it's not eternal. So this literally could have either actually been family that someone was in collusion with that ultimately kind of, left them out in the cold or left them out in the dust, hung them out to dry. Because I don't know what else this contract could be with the devil. Because I'm getting contract, and that's not all the devil is. But let's see what else. There's addictions. There's there is fear. There's obsession. There's possession. So I don't know if any of those things ring a bell, but in terms of it being this 10 of Pentacles, which is, it could be inheritance, it could be a legacy, it could be a family. It's supposed to be oh no. I was gonna say it's supposed to be generational wealth. This person then, it feels like oh man. This person then cursed they damn legacy. Maybe past and present and future, but certainly what's left of what they would have been righteously in alignment to inherit in the present tense, and therefore that has that makes an impact on the future. It's like somebody that was in alignment to create generational wealth beyond themselves, to kind of store a nest egg for future legacies. And because of what they connected themselves with, what they aligned with, a false family, crime, probably some crime organization or something, something diabolical for all intents and purposes, they ultimately forfeited what would have been the thing, as I said, that is lasting, that is upright, that is eternal, that is fruitful. Not just for themselves, they literally have ruined it. Maybe not, ruined may be strong, but I would say they've bound it now in karmic debt to the point where what could have been easily acquired, not easily, nothing's really truly easily, but more easily than the 10 of Wands, what could have been righteously acquired, whatever the process may have been, would have been easily passed down and passed forward, but somebody was so fixated on immediate gratification and materialization that they were willing to ultimately, bargain with their own integrity to have instant results. And now, as it's time for the inheritances of, generations past and for generations forward, it's all stuck up. It's like somebody owes everything that was due to them to the devil, to the damn devil. And it'll take probably generations, maybe lifetimes, to satisfy that contract, if ever, but certainly to break it, if that is really truly the only hope. Because can you ever satisfy a contract with the devil? There's always a hidden term, a hidden clause that you're not prepared or even equipped to fulfill. So now that burden is what gets to be passed down for future generations to now have to deal with, maybe even damning future legacies to poverty and to struggle, and in ways that they just shouldn't have to, because some of us as chosen seeds, so to speak, and I hardly use that term, but some of us that have even chosen ourselves to be the pioneer to break generational curses, to stop toxic cycles, or stop trauma in its tracks, even if it is a great upheaval for us to do so. You put yourself in that position for the purposes of this 10 of Pentacles right here. That's not just for you to rake it all up and rack it up, but it's for you to redeem the legacies of the past that may have tried and gotten as far as they could so that you could have your go at it, and for those ahead of you so that they don't have to try so damn hard. And now someone has pretty much made it null and void for what their bloodline perhaps has worked toward, because they just squandered it in a lifetime. And now, in order for there to be hope for future generations to reclaim that fortune and that favor, they're going to have a great deal of upheaval to do so, on account of what's just been passed down to them, not even so much of what they actually earned in their own right. That's effed up. That's effed up. And I know somebody gots to be feeling that when they come to terms with it. Finally, out of the arrogance, when they finally get that wake-up call, that this is real. This is not a production. This is really happening. You're going to have to answer. And even if this isn't actual court, it could be spiritual court where nothing is missed. That stenographer keeps strong records. Yeah, you would want to, this is what I'm saying, this was supposed to be the crossover lifetime for many a bloodline. Not just one, many. And some have secured their safe passageway on that journey by way of their choices, and some have solidified their stay in hell. Sorry to say. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. And it's extra effed up because, like I said, it wasn't just you that gets affected. It's whomever worked to get you to this point of potential to have the shot, to take the shot as the franchise player for your entire bloodline, and you literally pass the ball to the sixth man on the bench. No, Jordan always takes the shot. Kobe always takes the shot. Ain't no passing the ball, and by passing the ball, I mean deferring your power, in this case, to some other energies, to maybe perhaps to their own addictions, their own obsessions, certainly their own fears, maybe even other entities that were out of the sanction and out of the alignment of universal order, that more or less would have forfeited the transfer of this wealth and favor, because it doesn't rightfully deserve to be in the hands of the devil. Like, whether it be the devil in you or the devil in real form, like, this was for a purpose. And perhaps, in Hope's projection, it's preserved in spirit for when this contract is null and void. But certainly it can't justifiably be passed off. It can't be entrusted to whomever this is to do well with it, because what they had before this, of which they probably thought was this, but and nothing on this board is comparable to the Ten of Pentacles. Like, literally no energy whatsoever. The only pentacle is the damn page, and the ace is what was ultimately determined was a great loss, a seizure, literally, that had been seized or frozen. So perhaps that is the spiritual projection, that it may be on reserve somewhere, not completely dissipated, for whatever brave soul can pick up the baton and run with it in, future generations, if there's a granted to be a future generation. But the one thing it won't be is with ease. And that's the unfortunate part, because this is the lifetime that, call it what it is, but many of us were charged and challenged to take the edge off for the future. And we had a great deal of upheaval to do so. But when you recognize the honor, eventually, maybe not on sight, but eventually when you recognize the honor of the effect of the cause of your struggle and your strife, literally, it culminates into a greater reward to know what you're working toward, what you're working for, whom you're working for, to have a legacy at all that is sustainable and preserved in the times in which we are, living in at this moment, is the gift, is the inheritance. So my hope projection is that there may still be, there might still be a possibility to reclaim it in future generations, but again, not without a struggle that doesn't belong to them, and certainly not in the breath of this lifetime for the one that should have, by all intents and purposes, been the benefactor of this great windfall of rewards, had they made different choices. Hangman. Some are crossing over, some are sitting still, waiting for that do-over, for that new surge of enlightenment to maybe be more conscious of where they may have faltered, or where they just could choose differently. Maybe perhaps that is the hope, that in this lifetime there's still time for enlightenment to turn some things around for the future, whatever the future gets to be. But who wants to be literally left behind when everything and everyone else is moving on to more peaceful and calmer waters? And it's like you're still left to repeat a grade. It's unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate, at least from my perspective, but perhaps it's ordained as well to be as it is. So who am I to say, really? All right, well, I'm going to pretty much leave it there. And as usual, if this doesn't relate to you personally, I always see it as more or less like a what do you call it, a word to the wise, to stay on task, to stay focused, to stay in integrity, but to also be mindful of the energies that we at least currently coexist with, that may be in more desperate times, which may cause for more desperate measures to kind of alleviate this struggle that they've created for themselves. And the only way, at least, that they may be able to perceive to do it is in connection with energy that is free-flowing, liberated, karmic debt-free per se, that, that's high vibrational, where they can kind of offset that deficit or that deficiency, or, don't let it be you, is all I'm saying. Don't let it be you. You deserve far more for your time and energy and effort, because then that puts your inheritance at risk. Don't think it don't, especially not now, these days. All it takes is for you to hook up with one foul energy of which you knew by way of your own intuition was a bit of a red flag. That's all it'll take for you to squander what you've worked for, what is rightfully due to you, and then in turn F it up for a whole generation or more to come. Nah, ain't nothing worth that. Nothing. So protect your energy. Again, full moon's coming up. Cleanse your space, cleanse your spirit. Maybe even stay a little bit, cherish your solitude as much as you possibly can right now, where it matters and where it's possible. Not to necessarily be in seclusion if you don't feel guided to be, but definitely don't feel any eagerness to have to be in connection either right now, because things are strange in this particular moment. And if you're feeling guided to just be with you, be with yourself, be in the house, or be solo, be in solitude, or to take a break, fall back, maybe even from social media if you feel that charge. Don't second guess it. Follow your gut. Everything that's supposed to be waiting for you or connected to you will be there when you return, or wasn't supposed to be. And sometimes you need to kind of unplug and disconnect, fall back and kind of, peep the scene a little bit to get a better understanding, of what exactly those elements may be. Because sometimes when you're up close and personal, or God forbid, all up in it, you don't have the same perspective. So follow your intuition, follow your nudge, your emotional intelligence. You can never be doing too much in the way of protecting yourself, your energy, and protecting those within the force field that you care about most. All right? It's not just your lifeline that's dependent upon this. You are a pioneer for more than just you at this point. If you accept that honor, there's a responsibility and accountability attached to that, even by the way of security. So that's all I have to say about that. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you for listening and watching. Until next time, as always, I'll leave you with peace.